Okay, so I'm back with the tutorial and I'm having to start a little way through. I'm sorry, I lost the beginning of this video, but I cut my Edith Holden page or paper 2 inches by 7.5. I've chosen this card, so I wanted something pink, and I've got this lovely paper from Chapter 1 Papers. I think this is from their French Floral, their new collection, and I've just torn a thin strip off the edge here, and I've used glue stick to glue that down, and then I've zigzag stitched down the joining line there. You don't have to do the stitching, it still looks lovely without it, but I do like a bit of stitching on mine. I'm just going to tack this card on, and I want it halfway across, but I want it slightly above the middle. It's probably about there. And I'm just doing that by eye, getting that as centre as I can. It's a bit far over, there we go. And then I'm going to zigzag round that with my sewing machine. So I'll just do that. Sorry about the noise. That's that bit done. Go to the ends. And really, we're pretty much there already. I have found a label, and I'm going to pop this just at the edge here. I don't want the whole thing on, you could have it this way, but I quite like something thinner and longer, so I'm just going to ink round the top of that just to take the whiteness off. Just glue that top edge on here. Don't want too much of it, just want a bit of added interest. So there's that. Never get those directly straight. Smudging off there. Okay. On the original one, I put some trim at the bottom. I probably won't do this on this one. So the next thing, I mean, that's your tag done basically. I'm going to mount it on some thin card. I like to do this stitching before I do that, but again, I would just gently tack that on to a piece of card. I'll go up to the edge just to save cutting it all off. I would use my scissors. And then before I put the eyelets in, I would stitch round before I put the eyelets in. So if you'll just forgive me, I will go away and straight stitch around the edges, and then I'll be back. Right, so I've stitched that round. I always go over my stitching with a bone folder just to flatten the card down a little bit where the needle has poked through. And then we're going to pop some eyelets in. Again, I do this, so I want these to be about 3/4 of an inch apart, but I do this by guesswork really. So the centre is here, so we'll have one here and one here. Just mark those with my pencil. And then I've got a crocodile. This is where you can make some adjustments if they don't look quite central. So put that one there. There. Hasn't quite cut the stitching, and I'm just using up old eyelets, some rose gold ones. One in there. One in there. And then I've got some pink crinkled seam binding. Sometimes I dye this myself with distress inks. Sometimes I buy it off a shop called Splattered Inky on Etsy. And I just, before I tie it properly, I just roughly work out how much I need by tying a bow like this. That's probably about right. This is just a bit of a fiddle till it looks, you know, as nice as you can get it really. And then I'm just going to cut these off a little bit. And that's our finished tag. Could always add a dangle, a little charm up here if you wanted to. Could put something on the bottom. I might sometimes just sew a strip of something like that across the bottom. I might even do that on that one, but at the moment I'm going to leave it as it is. That seemed fairly quick, so if you'd like to see another one, stay tuned. I have got another piece here. I just really like making these, and I've got this bit of Stamperia paper, and I love this greeny pink arrangement. I don't want a white edge, so I'm just going to re-tear that. Depends which way you tear it, but I'm just tearing it back this way so I get so we're going to have a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. This is the one we're doing. I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. Let's see, which bit should we have? So we have that at the top. See what that looks like. I think we'll have that piece at the top because that gets covered by the ribbon, or can get covered by the ribbon, and this at the bottom. So again, I'm going to glue with glue stick. This is supposed to be non-stick scissors, little non-stick scissors. So that's that. Again, sometimes I choose to stitch across here, sometimes I don't. I think I'm going to in this case, so just bear with me. stopped recording then, but I don't think so. Hopefully not. Get rid of the ends. And then I have got a little bit of vintage lace here, and I just want to pop this down the side. I don't really want it the whole way across, but I haven't got much of this. I'm just going to see how I can. So that might work. And the way I glue this on is with this art glitter glue. So I'm looking now to see, so I want to glue this edge first of all. This is the way I do it. She says if the glue will come out. Okay. I'm just putting this all the way down this front edge, little dabs all the way down, and I'm going to go onto this flower strip here as well. And this will make a good sort of start really, so sort of like that. That should stick fairly well, and then I'll go back in, probably do this actually with this one, go down this edge and then just daub the glue round and about. This glue dries clear and not particularly shiny, so it's quite a good one for gluing in this fashion. So that's that. Just reach for my fabric scissors, cut this off. And again, that's the basic tag done. I'm just going to find a bit of card to mount it onto, stitch round, and then I'll come back and do the eyelet and we'll finish off there. Right, let's finish this one off. I've stitched round. I'm going to put a label at the bottom here because I feel this piece is quite deep and a bit similar to that. So I bought a new set of stamps which I really like. These are Creative Expressions, Dates from the Past, and I've found a little blank label, so I'm just going to stamp one of the stamps from that set. I have got archival ink in sepia. I don't mind if this is a little bit wonky or doesn't stamp quite correctly. I think that'd be pretty good. So let's glue that on. Although I haven't inked the edges of these particular tags, I quite like them uninked. Anything that I put on them, I do ink the edges. I'm not sure I know why, it just looks better. So that fits rather nicely in there. And then at the top, I'm just going to do one hole this time. So I'm marking the centre. Gone right through the lace and everything. And then I've got this pretty seam binding, which picks up, it's a sort of light, I don't know what colour you'd call this, a very light sort of sea green maybe. And I'm just pulling that through roughly in half like that. And then I'm just going to tie a bow with, again, I'm going to use matching matching embroidery thread. This is DMC embroidery thread. I'm just going to draw those together. This is the bit where sometimes two hands is better than one, but I think I can do it without. Sometimes I shout my husband to come and, you know, put his finger on the knot. I can do it without. There we go. I usually knot this before I tie the bow, just to help keep everything secure. And then a little bow. I just pull those smaller. Keeping my finger on the knot in the middle. Just pull that down. Cut those slightly different lengths. And there we have it. I really like that one as well. That's turned out really pretty. That's very me, very pastel. Bit of vintage lace, bit of crinkled seam binding, a label. And with this other one, I did decide to add a little bit at the bottom. So all I took the bit of lace that I'd cut off here, chopped off a bit, just pulled it with my fingers like this to fray it a little bit, and then I zigzagged it on with that offcut of seam binding from there. So there's two more tags. Haven't taken too long to make them. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're still with me, thank you for watching.